Once again, my name is Devin Pike. Thank you very much for coming out to FanExpo Dallas. Has everybody had a great weekend so far? Some of you have heat stroke, I understand. You walked over from the A-loft. Trust me, I get it. Our next guest is a phenomenal writer, producer, director, and actress. You may know her from The Machine or Year One or every single Berlanti-verse show ever produced. Please give a massive Dallas welcome to Caity Lotz!
Hello! How you guys doing? Yeah, nice to see you. Ooh, these are comfy. Do these have the same chairs?
No, they switched. Well,
no, these look like the same ones.
Yeah, and it's surprising. It's like, okay, I can actually not feel like I'm falling out of this because directors' chairs are the absolute worst in the world.
Yes, they are, which is why we switched to camping chairs. We go with the low ones. The high ones are no good.
And you don't worry about, the getting out is the problem with those. But I guess it is with the director's chairs as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I never sit when I'm directing anyways.
Fair. Which brings me to my first question. So I actually wanted to ask you about a short film that you did a couple years ago called Twin Turbo, which is an extremely good flick. If you haven't seen it, it's on Vimeo for free, and it's 7.5 minutes of some of the most kick-ass action I've seen in a very long time. So I'd like for you to talk about that flick first, because there's a lot packed into that 7.5 minutes.
Yes, it's my first thing that I directed. It was a short film called Twin Turbo. I think it's on my Instagram things too. You can watch it there. You'll probably recognize Maisie in there, who, she's in it.
And then Dominique, who you worked with on the Bring It On flick as well.
Yes, Dominique is, and she was in my girl band with me when I was in when we lived in Europe together. We've been best friends for a really long time. But yeah, there's some kick-ass action in there, and it's a lot of fun. And I wrote it, and I produced it, and I directed it, and because of that, I was able to get into the Warner Brothers directing program and direct an episode of Legends.
Have you thought about expanding it into a feature film? Because there's a lot of questions that I had from their background, the foreground, where they're going, who F-Boy was, all of that. It's just a really fun film, and I want more of it. I'm a greedy person, I want more.
Thank you. No, I haven't really. That was kind of like just a standalone thing, but I do have some other, I have a lot of ideas of things that I want to do, and lots of fun stuff coming. So hopefully, I really do want to direct a feature, and hopefully that'll happen soon.
These days, how much free time do you have when you're not on any of one of 18,000 sets that you wind up bouncing around, and they're all in Vancouver? So I guess it's a little easier for that.
I'm like, somebody said today where they're like, oh, how does it feel to be retired? And I was like, well, yeah, kind of. But I'm so busy, and I'm like, how am I so busy? But I feel like, everybody probably relates to this. Do you feel like you have no time ever, and you're just so busy all the time, and you don't even know doing what, but there's no time? So yeah, I've been very busy, which also is something that during the pandemic was the only time I've ever not been busy in my life, which made me realize, I was like, wow, we just run around life busy all the time. And it's like, instead of saying, like, how are you? And it's like, oh, I'm good, I'm busy. How are you? Busy, 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 busy. Like it's a good thing. I'm like, maybe we all need to slow down a little bit. And I'm mostly just talking to myself. Maybe you guys are better with your time management.
No, trust me, time is a flat circle, especially that, but you get really overwhelmed with the little things that soak up every day.
But when you had, with the pandemic, you weren't missing out, and there was no should, because there was nothing you could be doing. So it was like, go take a walk. I remember, just washing my car, and, detailing it, and I was like, this is lovely. Instead of spending my money to pay somebody else to rush out to go do other things, I'm don't I just enjoy this, be out in the sun and wash my car? I kind of miss sometimes.
But did you get stir crazy after about 3 or 4 months of that?
Oh, I mean, no, I settled into it. But, I mean, there was a lot of this. I mean, everybody had a lot of this when I was like, yeah, this is great. And then I was like, hey, you are. It's a bit of everything. But I settled into the nothingness, and now I find I get more overwhelmed with lots of things that I have to do. Even if it's not a lot, it feels like a lot. It's like, I gotta go to the grocery store, and I gotta pay these bills, and I gotta pick up something, and see friends. It's like, wow.
It's not even FOMO at that point. It's just like, dear God, how do I get through it? We do have a crowd mic over here, so if you've got questions for Caity, I'd love for you to line on up, and because nobody wants to hear me yammer. But I'm curious what some of those projects are, because you've got a lot of irons in the fire, and I want to know what we can look forward to in the coming months that you can actually talk about that you're not under an NDA or any of the rest of that.
So, I just signed an NDA for something. So that, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, but I can't talk about that.
Of course.
But I can talk about, so I've been training Muay Thai and getting ready, and I feel good, because I kind of been relaxing, in my retirement, and I'm getting ready to go shoot a martial arts film in Thailand next month, and gotta do a bunch of Muay Thai, so I've been training and it feels good. I'm like,
oh, the gun show is out today. This is amazing.
I wore my muscle tee for you guys, just so I can But yeah, so it's called a Bangkok Lockdown. It's it's not like a huge movie or anything, but it's gonna be a cool little action flick, and then hopefully something else, and then I got some projects that I'm working on producing and hopefully directing.
As we were getting ready to, I was waiting for you in the hallway, there was somebody walking by in a t-shirt that says directed by Caity Lotz, and I said, okay, there's nothing. Is that person in here? Yeah.
Where?
That's an amazing shirt. Stand up. People need to buy this shirt.
Oh, that's cool.
I need one. Do you have those at your booth? Do you have those at your booth?
No, what I
Did you make that your own? Yeah.
That's cool. Mine now. She's actually directing. I think that's why she's not here. Right? Is that I know she was directing an episode of something, which is really exciting because she also is, a great director, and she was working on a TV show that she wasn't on, which is also cool to get the opportunity.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Well, firstly, no matter what happens with it, Legends has just meant so much to so many people from so many different walks of life. It's just made such an impact for so many people. So thank you for being a part of that. So that being said, in your head, if we don't save Legends, what happens? What's your headcanon of the ending? A cute little tied up ending?
I don't know. I would love a flash forward to see Ava and Sarah in their very normal lives with 2-3 kids or something, a couple dogs.
Yes.
Jess wants 8 dogs.
Yeah.
I think that would be a pretty fun one. But yeah, it's such a complicated thing, and the whole Save the Legends campaign, even if they don't sit, the network doesn't do it, it's been so touching for us and the whole cast. Really, really sweet. And then seeing a plane fly over Warner Brothers. Oh my God! I was like, this is so amazing. This is genius. So
Times Square, the building.
yes, everything. It really, really sweet. So the corporate structure of it all, in terms of saving it, it's really has nothing to do with the show or us or the fans, and it's just their bad timing with this whole takeover. But it's that whole campaign has just been so touching and meaningful for us, and so thanks to all you guys and for all the support over the last 7 years that we get to make this crazy show.
Thank you so much.
I gotta think that with HBO Max being what it is and such a strong DC and Warner Brothers presence, there's gotta be room for Legends on the network, at least for one wrap-up season, if nothing else.
I don't even know. This is like stuff that I heard, but it's so complicated because also the licensing, since these are DC comic book characters, like it's very expensive to just license, so you can't just throw it on. It has all these different approvals, and now that Legends, they did a Netflix deal, so it's on Netflix, so you can't do it onto HBO Max. So it's like, there's a lot of different things. Maybe it's gonna be one of those things where like 20 years from now, it's like they do the Legends reboot.
The Kickstarter campaign for the, oh God. Ask Fillion about that the next time you see him. Go ahead.
Hi. What was your favorite episode of Legends that you didn't direct? To just like act out.
There's so many. This one I've said a few times, but there's like we were in like ancient Japan, and I got to do some really cool sword fighting in the forest with Maisie. That was really fun. For some reason, the Tagumo episode is popping into my head too. Tagumo, I could not say that for the life of me. But yeah, the one where I got to put on the Supergirl costume, that also was really fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
How's it going? What has been the most challenging but yet rewarding thing about directing?
Directing is very challenging. You realize you're like, oh man, these actors, they got it good. Because when you're acting, it's like everyone's needs you to do your job. So like they want to make sure you're happy, they want to make sure you're fed, they want to make sure you're on time, that you're dressed, like someone's taking care of you, really taking care of you. As a director, it's your job to take care of everyone. And like, what I realized is no one is telling anybody good job, really. Like, so the camera guys aren't saying like, hey, that was a really nice take to the actors, or the actors aren't going like, oh, that was a really good focus rack to the camera department. Like, so the only person who's saying that was good is the director, and everybody wants to hear it, as they should. So I was like, oh wow, yeah, you gotta be like, wow, great job with this on the camera, and the sound was perfect, and your performance was awesome, and like, I love that. And it's everybody, you gotta take care of everybody, emotionally, as well as like logistically, trying to manage everything. And I think acting and directing was really hard, because everything, the only thing that matters is what shows up on that screen. And when you're in it, you can't see what's in the picture. You don't know what's in the frame, you don't know what worked, what didn't work, and you don't have time to watch everything over. So that was probably the biggest challenge.
When you're directing a scene that you're in, do you count on the AD to give you like feedback from that, or is it just you have to trust that it was all in camera the way you wanted it?
One of our ADs is a director, so that was very helpful. We also have a producing director who sometimes was able to be there, but sometimes not. So yeah, you usually find somebody that you can be like, watch for this, please. And like Nico, our AD, would be like, you might want to go again, or you should come and watch it, because I'm not sure. So that would be helpful.
And not just like beating a path between Video Village and the Mark. I mean, good God.
I know, at one point I was like handcuffed to the bed and like and I'm like, how was it? And it was like, because it took time to, and then at one point I just had my iPad like underneath the blanket, and I would like try to be like watching it.
That's not how hostage situations are supposed to go. Go ahead.
Hi. So I've been kind of torn between both DC and Marvel lately, so I'm curious, if you were to switch to Marvel, what character would you want to play?
I've seen a lot of people wearing cosplay of what's her name? She has the
Scarlet Witch?
Scarlet Witch. Yeah, the one of the Olsen.
Liz Olsen, yeah.
Yeah, is that? I feel like I could do a good job at that.
Yes.
You can step down, Liz. I got it from here.
Great. Go ahead.
Well, thank you for joining us, Ms. Lotz. I was just saying that you're one of the longest running Arrowverse characters, basically. You've been known, especially with Legends of Tomorrow. You started from more darker tone to the lighter one, especially the comedy-wise. I was just trying to see, did you ever feel like maybe you wanted to go back towards that more darker tone, especially when it came towards, since Sarah Lance was part with the League of Assassins, like ever wanted to brush more on that?
In the beginning of Legends, yes. I think I had a hard time letting go of that dark Sarah because I did like her a lot. I liked how guarded she was and tough and tortured, and I love heavy drama. And I kept in the beginning, because I was like, guys, like, that's why everyone loves Sarah. That's why, like, we don't want to lose that essence of who she is. She is this, like, super strong and dark character. And then the show just kept getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And I think I was a little worried about losing the thing that everyone loved about Sarah. But over time, somehow, I think, Sarah grew. She had to grow as a character, as a, person, and it worked. It worked. So I think I really enjoyed towards the end getting to lead into the comedy of it more.
Well, plus as an actor, it's just more fun to sink your teeth into a darker character, isn't it?
It depends on the actor, I think. Some people, I don't know. Some people are just funny. Like, they can even do something serious, and you're like, yeah, you're cute. Like, it's still funny. And I've always been like a pretty intense with my acting. I'm usually pretty intense, and it wasn't just funny. Like, it would be like everyone else could do the same thing and it'd be funny, and I do it and it's like, whoa, that's dark. So I think it's different for everybody. I just have a natural leaning towards drama. But Legends really helped me, like, because I was always like, I'd rather make people cry than make them laugh. But after doing Legends and getting to play, I was like, actually, you know what? This is not so bad. I like this. I like making people laugh.
So a rom-com in the future? No, I'm just kidding. Right here.
All right, hello, Ms. Lance. First off, thank you for joining us. I loved you in Arrow and Legends. So my question is, between those two series, which one was more challenging to act in, Legends or Arrow?
Legends, for sure. Arrow was pretty straightforward, and I felt like I was just playing, it was very close to me. And I was like, what? Guarded and tough, but vulnerable underneath? Like, check, I got that. But then going on to Legends and having a tone shift and having to go funny and then very serious and all over the place was definitely a challenge. And also being on Arrow, she wasn't the lead character. So it's like I got to do my own thing and I didn't have to worry so much about the others. And on Legends, it was, she was the leader, so she had to, it was a lot. It's a lot of work too, because you're in all the storylines, and sometimes you feel like you're not having your own storyline because you're just there for everyone else's storyline. To be like, you do this and you do that, and let me give you a heartfelt talk for your storyline, and that's it. So I think that was it's a challenge. It was a challenge, but a good challenge.
And then a follow-up question to that is were there any challenging actors on Legends that you had to work with? Like, anybody give you a challenge to work with?
I
Like
mean,
Kate,
what, I can't tell you that. I'd be like, yeah, you know who was a jerk? Just kidding. We were lucky.
TMZ.
We were very lucky with our cast. I think in the beginning, you know, that we had some harder times, but it's also, yeah, like, it's hard to separate your own personal stuff from work when you're at work 14 hours a day, 8 months out of the year. Like, there is no separation sometimes. So if you have something going on in your personal life, it's very hard to, you know, shelf it and be like, hey, everything's great. So, you know, sometimes people are going through things, and but mostly we were so blessed with an amazing cast. Like, I cannot tell you how lucky we were with this cast. I love them dearly. They're really, like, that's the hardest part about the show not going, is just, you went from, I saw them more than I saw anyone else, my own family. I saw them more for the last however many years, and now it's like, I don't see them, and I'm like, Jess, where are you here?
Book a cruise. Just like everybody, all the Berlandiverse folks, just get on a boat, hang out for 4 or 5 days.
Do like a Comic-Con cruise.
Hey, I didn't want to put that out there. I mean, it happens. I mean, sure, there's somebody putting it together right now.
Thank you, Miss Lance.
Money.
Hi, Miss. I guess first off, I just wanted to say that I love you and your character, and that I'm grateful, you know, that I was able to see her grow and see her go on all of her adventures since Arrow and all the way to Legends. And I guess I never thought I'd be up here being able to ask you a question, but I guess my question would be, what inspired you to act and direct, and what kept you going, you know, even through challenges?
I guess I didn't know that I never really thought I was an artist, or that I would grow up to do arts career. But I always just did whatever I was really excited about, and I was curious about, and passionate, and I would follow that wherever it led. And I think that's like the biggest thing. You don't, like, especially for like young people out there that are like, don't necessarily, or even, you know, if you're grown and still trying to figure out what you want to do, it's not about figuring out like what you want to do and then you have to stick with that. It's like you choose something that's exciting to you, and then that will take you to the next place. And then that'll take you to the next place. So it's, you climb that mountain, and you might get there and you're like, I don't want to do this. But now you have a different vantage point from up here. And now you can see the next thing, and that'll just keep leading you. And I think your whole life is, at least for me, I want it to be that way. Like, I never thought I would direct. And now I'm directing. And maybe I'll do more directing, or maybe I'll become a florist. I don't know. But I just usually, I follow whatever I'm curious about. And I mean, there was a time where I was being a photographer. And there was a time I was painting. Like, there's lots of different things. But I think it's just, you have to be just finding stuff that you're passionate about. Because if you're passionate about it, you'll work hard and you'll get good. And that will then give you, you know, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, all of these skills come together for this thing I didn't even know that I would be doing.
Thank you.
I don't know if I really answered your question, but.
Is there a part of the creative process, whether it's, you know, film, TV, music, whatever, that you've sat there and said, I've got the itch to do that, I just A, don't have the time, or B, need to devote more time to be able to get competency in it? I'm curious if there's something that you're sitting there and said, that's what I want to do next. Here's what I want to do after I grow up.
And I grow up. I think directing is something that, like, because there's so many different departments that you can be a master at. So that's giving myself more time to do that. And like, I want to learn more about camera and all that stuff. But I think the biggest for, as an artist, just generally, whatever art or creativity, you have to give yourself time to be creative. Like if you drain that well and you don't do things to refill that well, it's gonna dry up and like you're not an artist anymore. Like that, there's this whole thing about kind of viewing creativity as like a muse, this thing that inspires you and it comes to you, and it's like you have to do all of the things that set the stage for that kind of inspiration to come to you. So if anybody out there is creative at all or an artist, it's make sure you tend to it, and that's playing. Mostly that tending to it is playing. There's this book called The Artist's Way. Have you ever heard of it? Did you do it?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, and that and Eat Shoots and Leaves were the two biggest.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's for script writing more than anything else.
Okay.
It's like that and don't Save the Cat.
Oh yeah.
Or the other one. It makes you a better writer. But The Artist's Way was just mind blowing. I think I got it from Glenn Morshower. From he was on Supergirl for a bit. You might have bumped it. Local Dallas actor, great guy. But sincerely, The Artist's Way, it's on Amazon. Get a print copy because print still lives. It's not just an audio book. But I love it.
Has anybody read that book? Does anyone know it? Yeah? Life-changing? Yeah. It's highly suggest this book. And you know what too? There's been a few times, I've done it twice now, and there's been other times where I try to do it and I can't do it, and it's just not the right time, so it might not be the right time, but
You got to do a full reset to be able to start at square one with it, absolutely.
Yeah, serious.
Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm an actor too, and seeing like Legends every week made me just really want to be on a show like that because it just seems so much fun. And the Wave Rider was kind of like a revolving door with like everyone leaving every season. I just wondered, who was your favorite out of like everybody to work with? Who was your favorite Legend?
Oh. Well, let's see. I guess I would say Nick. Because he also was in it the longest with me, and he's just a really special person. He's really, he's just so damn charismatic. He's so charismatic, that Nick. And he just really brought so much joy. And I think I liked being around his energy and the way he would deal with things. I was like, oh, that's how you could, because I would find myself, something would happen and I would get really upset about it, like the injustice of whatever, and it's like, this isn't right, and I could get angry. And I would then watch him, and like, you know, if someone was like, you have to do this, and where I would be like, what, why? And he would be like, I'm not gonna do it. And they'd be like, no, you got it. And he's like, hey, I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna do it. Thanks, bud. And I was just like, huh. And then I saw the other people would like lose it. And I'm like, yeah, why am I losing it? Why don't I just do this Nick Zano thing? Where I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, I'm not gonna let you ruffle my feathers. He was very good at that. And that taught me kind of how to, I don't know. So I like
kind of Zen approach to it, basically.
He meditates too. Yeah. He's a big meditator. So he does have some Zen thing going on.
Who was responsible for the most blown takes throughout the run of Legends of Tomorrow? You're not allowed to say yourself.
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
She knows, she just won't tell me. Okay, thanks, Matt.
It was my favorite too.
Go on ahead.
What was your favorite season of Legends of Tomorrow to act in?
So many. You know what was fun was that The one with the murderous unicorn.
Yeah.
It was a good season. I really enjoyed. I got a lot of Matt Ryan stuff, and I really liked Sarah and Constantine's dynamic. So that was pretty fun. Maybe that one. What season was that? I don't know. 6? 4? Okay, 4.
Wikipedia's sitting out here. It's wonderful.
Gary got his nipple bit off.
Go ahead.
Like Chris Williams and David Ramsey, will you be coming back for more crossover episodes with the other shows?
I don't know. I think it would be hard to bring me back without opening a whole can of worms of, it's like, I don't know if I could just casually show up on The Flash. You'd have to really dive into stuff. So, I don't know. But you never know.
Go ahead.
I have 2 questions. One, do you miss the White Canary costume since Sarah became captain and stopped wearing it? And 2, what would Sarah and Ava name their kids?
I forgot somebody asked us that about the name of the kid, and I forgot what it was. I think it was LARP. It was like Sharp and Lance. We were like, LARP. The White Canary costume was always something I would bust out once a year. And those superhero costumes look great, but they're not the most comfortable. I always preferred to fight in not that. But it was cool being a costume superhero. Was pretty cool.
Do you still have it?
They don't give that to me. You know what? I should ask for it. I want the black one. But also, where am I gonna put that? I have a very small house.
They're made for you, so I
just have a big glass case. They're like, hello, welcome to my house. So don't worry about that. That's just my superhero costume.
Put it up like a scarecrow, to keep people out. Go ahead.
Hello, Caity. Nice to meet you. My name is Landon, and I was wondering if you could play any other character besides your own, who would it be?
Out of the Arrowverse characters, or?
Legends.
Heatwave.
Okay.
It'd be a fun one. Thanks.
Okay, so one of my favorite episodes from the entire show, I actually think it was in season 7, was the one where you and Jess, y'all were doing this dance, and y'all kiss, and everyone there is like, oh my god, and you turn around and you're like, we're not sisters! It's my favorite episode, I love that. Was that fun for you to film?
Jess and I were both dancers, so we were very excited to get the opportunity to dance. So we had a lot of fun doing that. And we were arguing with each other, who gets to because I'm like, no, I want to sit in the thing and swing around, and you dip me, and she's like, no, I want to sit in it, and you dip me, we had a lot of fun doing that, for sure.
Awesome, because I've been watching this shit, Arrowverse show since I was 12. I'm 16 now, so they're my entire life. I told my sister, she was like, who's that? Who's Caity Lotz? And I was like, oh my god, I don't know you anymore.
You don't know, now you know.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, I was wondering, with Sarah Lance starting as a side character and then becoming ostensibly the main character of Legends, how you felt about that transition, if you had any say in it whatsoever? Were they hey, how would you feel about being the captain? Or were they just so turns out you're the captain now, hope you like that?
Yeah, that was their decision, not up to me at all. And I think, I don't know, I always felt, even back on Arrow, Sarah was such a leader. Mm-hmm. And so I think it was always kind of hard for Sarah to be on Team Arrow, because it was Green Arrow gets to call all the shots and everybody has to just do, and and I think Sarah was very like why am I listening to you? So I feel like she's always been a leader, and I think they didn't plan. I don't think they didn't. It wasn't like this is what's going to happen, and then Sarah becomes the captain. I think that it just her demeanor and in her dynamic is she's a leader, and I feel like you couldn't deny that. And so a lot of times the writers, they just write to like what they kind of see, and I think it's pretty cool that she emerged as the captain. And it's also like, I mean, it's funny that these shows have been on so long, that 7, whatever, it was like 8 years ago now, and it was a big deal to have a female captain.
Sure.
Like, that was not really a thing.
Yeah.
Because even like when I first got on the show, on Legends of Tomorrow, so you have like your cast numbers, and it's whatever, and it was all of the men and then the 2 women. So it was like, even like, Franz is like much younger, and all of the other actors, all of the male actors, and then the 2 female actors, and so it's like cast number 8 or something like that. And then Sarah, I feel like Sarah kind of like fought her way up, and it was like, and then she was number 1, and became the leader of the group. So it didn't start out that way. It emerged, which I think is cool. And at the time, it did feel like this is a pretty big deal to have like a female captain who's the boss, which was cool.
Was it that way on the call sheet as well, when you were like just looking down? It's like male actor, male actor, male actor, male actor, and 8 and 9 are on the call sheet as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah, that's what it was. And I said something to my agent. So I was like, I feel like why am I at the bottom, like at the bottom of the call sheet? Like, my character's been on this universe longer than any of the other ones. And my agent was like, as a woman, we don't want to like you to get a reputation of being as a diva, and it doesn't really matter. And I was like, yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. It's just like my ego, and I don't want to be a diva. And then it was like there was like a big power move for women, and it was like, I don't mind being a diva, all right? I'm not bossy, I'm the boss.
Hi, congrats on your engagement.
Thank you.
Also, if Legends Season 7, Sarah could go back in time and tell Arrow Season 2 Sarah something, what do you think it would be?
I think she'd say, I know it sucks right now, and I know it hurts, but it's gonna get better, and it's gonna get so much better, and you're gonna be happier than you ever could have imagined you would be.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Which is the same thing I would tell anybody who's struggling out there. It'll get better, I promise. It gets better.
So, first of all, I really loved, and shout out to the writer who snuck in the Winona Earp reference into that episode. And I was just wondering, have you ever seen any episodes or clips or anything of Winona, or was it just kind of a...
I've seen some clips.
Nice.
I saw the clip where they talk about Sarah Land's cosplay.
Yeah.
I had to watch that one, and then I was like, oh, I like this show.
Awesome, that's so awesome. Thank you.
So, just how many times did y'all have to listen to the thong song for that one fight scene?
That actually, because like Cisco was when I was a freshman in high school, and I remember that song came out, and it was like so cool. And then we listened to that song a lot. And then we all, when they were just filming his part, we all came back on stage to just watch him perform it. And doing his animatronic, it was pretty cool. That was such a, how weird is our show? It's so weird. Like that whole concept, the museum of bad ideas, like shake weights and like single-use plastic cups and Cisco's thong song. So funny. Our writers were really funny, man.
Thank you.
The hot new show in New York is Legends of Tomorrow. This show has everything. Killer unicorns, Museum of Bad Ideas, Dan Cortez, sorry.
Hypnotizing nipples. You're leaving out a lot of the best parts.
It is an absolute gas to get a chance to talk to you again because we spoke at Dallas Comic Con, the predecessor to FanExpo Dallas, 8 years ago when you were just starting your run. And I'm curious if you could have imagined, did they tell you any kind of grand plan when you were first getting into Arrow that, you know, we've got plans for Sarah down the road, and Lord willing the creek don't rise, we've got a lot of work coming for you for the next decade?
No, that's definitely not how it went down. I mean, it started as 3 episodes on Arrow. I was supposed to do 3 episodes on Arrow, and that was it. And then it turned into more, and then I thought it was gonna turn into more, and they were like, no, actually, we're gonna kill you off. You're done. And then it was like, it's done. Bye. They weren't like, but don't worry, because there's something else. They were like, we're so sorry. Bye. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. And then it turned into Legends, and I don't know if they knew. Honestly, I don't even know if they had that plan or just kind of happened. And I think Sarah Lance is just like this really amazing cockroach that you can't kill. Like they try to kill her, and I just keep coming back.
Sarah Lance and Keith Richards, it is an absolute gas having you here. Thank you so much for spending the weekend here with Dallas. It is an amazing time to have you here. Hey, ladies and gentlemen.